Right, this is a very important part of the show. It is the Super Six section, and we're going to do end of year awards. The only place to start is obviously the player of the year. What player has surprised you this year? What player would you like to anoint with a very prestigious award that is the club's, in partnership with Super Six, Player of the Year?
That was good, that, bro.
Thank you.
You looking for a gig at PFA Awards?
Thank you very much. I would
The Oscars even.
I'll do it in the way Ricky Gervais did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's only one candidate. I don't want to be too biased, but I think it's Rodri. I think he's the best.
Hang on, but we're doing calendar year. Do you not think that his form this year makes it difficult? So
It's been good this year.
I don't think it's true.
The sending off's been the sending off. When he doesn't play, we've been rubbish. When he plays, he scored a great goal even last week against Sheffield United, where he's running through midfield.
Being available for your manager is part of. Just hear me out.
Yeah.
In terms of like the whole year, has Rodri, and I know that he's a better player. I know he plays for a better team. I know he's won more. But in terms of playing to his maximum and delivering for his team, has Jared Bowen had a better?
No way. Because Jared Bowen would go through 2, 3, 4 games where you wouldn't have watched him play Fulham or Brentford or whatever. And
Has Declan Rice had a better?
No way. The level that Rodri performed in the Champions League final, which is obviously part of last year, at the start of the season, absolutely superb. Every moment of City's treble-winning campaign, it touched Rodri. I think there's a world you could win the treble without Haaland, but without Rodri, we're talking about one of Britain's sides, one of England's sides winning a treble, the second we've ever seen in this country after Man United, and it was all down to Rodri. It has to be him for me.
I don't know, man. No, I think it has to be Erling Haaland. Personally, top goal scorer in Europe for the whole year. I think that's obviously a difficult task. Then you add the goals that he scored for his club meant that they were the treble winners. Unfortunately, he won Premier League Player.
The trouble is, if we adopt the policy,
Player of the Year, all the individual.
If we
awards.
adopt the policy that you're coming at this with, and in fact, ultimately, this is going to be City won the treble, didn't they? So in terms of like everything, it's pretty much going to be.
No, but I think with Manager of the Year, you can kind of maybe sometimes put some context to it.
I think Guardiola with 5 trophies.
I know you can do this. I know you can do the same with Player of the Year as well. But I think we almost kind of overlooking his achievements because he just does it. Because it's so natural to him. And we just kind of I think these are amazing achievements.
I agree.
And he's a kid.
No, I completely agree.
He's a kid. And he's coming through for one of the most. You know how many players can't cope under Pep. Can't cope with his how imposing he is, how much he wants out of them, how much he demands from them.
I would have had him as the Ballon d'Or winner, Haaland. I would have honestly had him as the
so do I.
As the Ballon d'Or winner. I think it was ridiculous that it went to Lionel Messi. I really do. It was Haaland, but I also would say that in terms of the whole year, this season, like Rodri this season has cost you points massively. Getting himself sent off, grabbing people around the throat is part of the reason that you're not top of the league.
It's part of the reason. I wouldn't put it as over.
Well, he's also one of the reasons why if they win their game in hand, they're 2 points off.
His lack of discipline is the reason why Man City they didn't win a game without him in the team.
Discipline's 3 games. We're talking about 3 games. We've already played. Don't forget, he's played the Club World Cup final. He's played in the Super Cup. He's gone as far as you can in the FA Cup, the Champions League, and the Premier League. He's played over 60 games this calendar year. I'd say he's been exceptional. I'd say he's been a 9 out of 10 in 40 of the 60 games he's played. I think he's played 66, 67 games in a calendar year.
Okay,
and he's been absolutely outstanding.
He's doing things we haven't seen apart from Ronaldo and Messi. Goals-wise, like just the sheer numbers.
You're talking about Haaland.
Sorry, Haaland.
I meant Rodri. I talk about Rodri.
Sorry.
He's talking about
Haaland, man.
If you take Haaland out the City side, I'm not saying we'll instantly win the treble with someone like Alvarez instead, because you're bang on about the goals. Incredible. But City do not win the treble without Rodri. So that's why you have to put it ahead of Haaland for me. His level, we'll look back.
What are the honourable mentions? Because I was just thinking about Ollie Watkins as well.
Yeah,
I don't think Ollie Watkins can be the Player of the Year. Because of Haaland and stuff. There's a better striker, right? Obviously.
Mate, do you know who I was going to say? I was going to say John McGinn. I know that John McGinn isn't the better player than Rodri. Obviously, I know that. But I think he's truly brilliant. I love the way that he plays. It really reminds me of Dennis Wise, who's basically my favourite ever player. And if you look at where they were and you look at his trajectory and his rise and his 12 months, I really do rate your Watkins shout because I was going in exactly the same direction, which is also why I brought up Jared Bowen.
Jared Bowen's a good shout.
I think Boothby
seems to deliver in big games for them as well.
Boothby is correct, Rodri. I think you are correct as well because I do agree with you, Haaland. But I also think that it's nice to look at it through a slightly different lens, a slightly more, not necessarily more complex lens, but otherwise you just go, well, Guardiola,
Yeah, who's won the most?
Yeah,
games?
who's the best defender?
I can see why it's
probably
boring.
Ruben Diaz. Who's the best goalkeeper? Well, again, probably
I can see why it's too linear, 100%. I think the right shout is bang on though. I mean, because he's done it at West Ham at a lower level, especially in the Europa Conference League final. Then he goes to Arsenal. There's absolutely no no change. It's a smooth transition to Arsenal. He's been their best player, and that's outstanding. Says a lot about his mentality,
and he
his work rate.
grew. He grew into the role. He grew into the club.
He's a bigger player.
Arsenal fell off from last season, kind of makes us look at it a bit different.
It's not his fault though.
It's not.
It's not his fault. He's
we
done
do look at it
everything.
a bit different.
Mate, the worst performance he's had, the worst performance Declan Rice has had this year is an 8 out of 10. That's the worst.
They're
the
1
worst.
point above Spurs.
Terrible.
Manager of the
Can't
year.
believe it, man. That has to be Guardiola.
But again,
Like, you could talk about
mention
Gary
Unai
O'Neill
Emery.
if you want. Unai Emery, Gary O'Neill.
I'd give it Gary O'Neill if I could, but if it wasn't for
I mean,
a
you
trouble.
can if you want.
No, I've got to give it. I've got to give it. I've got to be
Me and him
loyal.
won't go against you.
I've got to argue for Gary O'Neill.
I've got to give it Pep,
Go on,
of
then.
course.
I could easily argue for Gary.
No, but I mean,
think Gary
do it.
O'Neill could easily be England manager after Southgate. Oh, mate, all of the reasons, everything that he did at Bournemouth, he took over Bournemouth and they were down. Nobody gave them a fighting chance. Not only did they survive, but they survived with games to spare. They were laughing. They were up. They were playing brilliant football. He is an excellent manager. I remember not years ago, but a few years ago, he was on TalkSport. And you're listening to him, I was like, a really intelligent bloke. He's translated that being a football man and then being like a clever man. He's like taken it into his managerial life, which I think we've seen from the likes of Rooney, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard. It's not easy. And he's done it easily. Then goes into Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolverhampton Wanderers, he's following in the footsteps of Lopetegui. Esteemed manager, right? Lopetegui went, just before the season started, I can't work here. What I'll do is I'll manage the team just for a little while. I'll oversee training, but the second the season starts, I'm out of here because I can't work with you lot. You're in big trouble. That to me screams relegation.
Yeah, of course.
The manager, a good manager who's experienced, goes, can't work with these boys. Can't work with this club. They bring in Gary O'Neill. You're like, lightning's not going to strike twice. If Lopetegui can't work here, O'Neill can't. Nobody. The best thing you can say about him to demonstrate the brilliant job that he's done, you could ask 100 people, or you could go out onto Oxford Street, you ask 100 people, name the 3 sides that go down, literally not one say Wolverhampton Wanderers. They're actually looking up. They're not bothered about
Only a few points behind you, aren't they?
Everyone's a few points behind it.
Yeah, but they're just below mid-table, I'm trying to say. They're nearly in the top
What
half.
I'm saying is, though, Wolverhampton Wanderers fans, I presume, will be looking up. They'll be looking at the league table and going, if we have a bit of a run here, we could qualify for Europe.
Yeah.
They were in Europe recently, weren't they? Nuno.
Yeah.
So I think I could easily make the case for O'Neill, but in the way that you could easily make the case for Emery. But the answer is Guardiola, man. It's 5 trophies. It's, There's 5
unbelievable.
trophies. There's very little to say.
And the Club World Cup, we haven't talked about it since obviously the Christmas period, but winning the Club World Cup for City fans, the way he's almost in the suit, he was kind of representing City. It was a very proud moment as a City fan. And I know it's Fluminense, it's the Brazilian league. We can talk about the quality of the competition.
It's a great trophy. It's a great.
I know, but yeah, it was a beautiful game in terms of seeing how they play football. It was a really amazing moment, but just how he approaches these. He doesn't have to look at the Club World Cup as a big moment. He's already won it with multiple sides, but the way he approaches this for Man City, it was a special
and
moment.
Cup, you know what I mean? We're not even talking about winning the Super Cup. Cole Park, you know, like it's Guardiola. It's annoying and it's boring and it's slightly predictable, but it's Guardiola.
Who's flop of the year?
It's got to be Chelsea, hasn't it? It's got to be
everything.
Chelsea related, yeah.
Todd Bowley's
In terms of,
transfer
hang on, think about
policy.
12 months. What player has totally under? Mudryk, maybe?
But
Over 12 months?
Mudryk scored a few recently.
You got
Yeah, I
Anthony.
know
I
he's
mean,
rubbish, but
Although
Anthony's been
Anthony
worse.
was here.
Anthony-
No, but
been
Anthony
worse.
was here the year before, wasn't he?
I'd say in the last 12 months.
Not a bad
He would have been.
Do
He would have been 2022's.
Yeah,
Kai Havertz the last 12 months? What kind of 12 months has he had?
but he's got a good move out of it.
Yeah, he's had a lot of money. He's on a
Yeah,
lot of...
exactly.
Yeah, he's had a great one.
I
I
He's
mean,
had a great
by
12
that
little
token, Mudryk's the winner.
Yeah, Mudryk
Yeah,
had a
that's
great
true.
move.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think we can factor that in actually
Oh,
because
fine.
they've all had great moves.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd never.
Wayne Rooney.
Bad.
That's
flop.
it can't be flop of the year though. So many managers come and go.
Yeah, but not in that.
Hang on, what
He
player?
won one in.
He never had the expectations. I think many people
did have a
kinda
lot
thought
of
it was
expectations.
wrong
You know, if you
from the board.
what player has done what
Yeah.
say Mount has done at Manchester United? What player has done that for 12 months?
Oh, Anthony, you know, it's
Enzo Fernandez
It's Anthony, innit? Back to back.
Anthony or it's Mudryk.
or Enzo?
Yeah, yeah. You seem to have more of a case for Enzo than I do.
I mean,
But you
he had
see
a
him
good
more.
game, mate.
But the other day I clocked it, you know against Palace.
You said it in the group.
Was
You
it
saw what
Palace?
I was saying, didn't
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Because he went in for one tackle,
you? And anything.
and normally you think that's his bread and butter. innit?
Runs about like
And
he's
just-
out
the guy
of
just
sync
skipped
with a
past
blonde
him.
guy.
He's
Did he
a
really?
fullback as well.
Really?
Yeah,
And
I
he's
saw
just
that a
come
mile off, by the way. Like, I'm just saying, I saw that both of them a mile off away. A mile off.
I mean,
They're
it's
an easy pick.
really expensive as well. If we're bringing
You can't-
that in.
you can't
Hang on,
manoeuvre.
is there anyone else? What other players?
Anthony's
Think of
nice,
other
yeah.
big signings that have just not landed in the last 12 months. What happened last January? What happened in the summer? The big signings, the statement signings. When was Darwin Núñez?
No, it was summer before.
Because he hasn't.
Same summer as Anthony, wasn't it?
He
We're
hasn't.
bringing Anthony in.
I don't think he's done his job.
Jorginho?
Nah.
Then done enough.
Wasn't he free or something like that?
No, it's about 30 million, I think. He hasn't done
I
enough.
think it has
30.
to be like a Mudryk, an
Wasn't 30
Anthony,
mil.
Mate,
a
What,
Darwin.
Jorginho to Arsenal for 30 mil.
it's a lot of money.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's
like
not
15.
flop of the year though.
It's hard.
Okay, I think we've got it. Breakthrough star of the year.
Who is it?
The breakthrough.
Who's your flop of the year? Just say yours. We don't have to
I
agree.
think it has to be Mudryk for me on a personal one.
Anthony for me.
Anthony for me as well. So bad.
Should let him say Mudryk.
In terms of the breakthrough star,
I'm going to be biased here, yeah. And obviously, Kobe
Can't
Mano
say
second
Mano.
half of the year, but
can't say Maino.
but
Can't.
No,
I'm going
come
somewhere
on.
else. I'm not saying Mano.
It's 4 games.
I'm not saying Mano.
Okay. Garnacho.
Garnacho.
Yeah, I think Garnacho.
I mean, when you factor in the goal he scored as well, being
Bicycle kick.
I think one of the most memorable Premier League
Also-
goals we'll ever see.
Also, it is a year because it was over a year ago that he scored that goal against Fulham.
He was playing with Ronaldo. And
Yeah, exactly. So I think Garnacho is.
Who
a
else
star.
though could be brought into this debate?
Rico Lewis. Unbelievable. and he actually came into the side against Chelsea. Against
boy
Graham
Ramsey
Potter's
at Villa.
Chelsea. Who?
Ramsey.
Ramsey, yeah, of course.
If you
few
could
Villa lads.
consider it a breakthrough.
All those Villa players you could argue that were there before with Gerrard, they've all transformed themselves. But you could say Eddie Howe.
Is there
Eddie Howe's
anyone
transformed
away
Newcastle.
from would Branthwaite be part of it?
Branthwaite.
Is there
Lewis
anyone?
Miley.
Anthony Gordon.
Miley,
Not Anthony Gordon.
You don't
No, I
think
mean
he's broke
he's not a breakthrough.
but he's not a breakthrough because he went for
You Lewis
40
Miley's, you
he went for
Garnacho,
low-
right,
through? Young.
Yeah. Young, and maybe you haven't even heard of at the beginning of the
It
year.
has to be Rico Lewis, surely.
Rico
all
Lewis
biased-
been very
all
well. But he is
biased, right?
Garnacho.
What a
Think
player.
of other teams.
We had a chat before. It was Garnacho, Rico Lewis. Remember we had to rank them, and I think we went with Garnacho.
Anyone broken through at Arsenal? They haven't really, have they?
No, Arteta don't play the youth.
What about Tottenham? Anything going? I'm just trying to think. I don't want us to make this too one-dimensional
Mr.
with our
Obvious.
clubs. Yeah. Breakthrough players. Has anyone come through at Tottenham that's surprised anyone? Oh, the boy, Destiny Udogie.
Luke Littler. Oh no,
Yeah,
wrong
him.
sport. Who? Destiny Udogie.
Destiny Udogie's had a great half of the season.
I think it's Garnacho.
I think the answer's probably Garnacho.
I'll give it Garnacho. He's been
Garnacho
superb.
feels like a superstar.
I feel that. Yeah, I
He's
feel
a
like
United
he'll be a
player
Real
through and
Madrid
through.
one.
He's a
Feels
United.
like a Real Madrid player.
Yeah, he's going to be a Real Madrid boy.
Feels like a Real Madrid
I'll
player.
take him at City.
Feels like Real Madrid.
Of course you
player.
would.
40 mil.
And what would you say is the best live stream that we ever did?
There was one where I messaged you boys after and said, "Yo, I think that was the best." Oh, what one was that now? None of our teams played, but I really enjoyed it.
I used to like the ones in Camden Town, but this year, sorry, in the last calendar year, I'm just trying to think. The 7-0 was that the last year?
That was fun.
That was fun,
Say
wasn't it?
that.
No, it's not that.
We'll say 7-0.
It's 7-0, I think. The Liverpool 7. What was the final score in that? 7.
7
It's not that.
High XG, I heard.
7-0. High XG, man.
It's not that.
7-0 against your biggest rivals.
It's not.
That's my favourite.
I like the FA Cup final stream as well. That was good. That was a good laugh.
No, it's not that.
No, it's 7-0.
Yeah, we'll take
Best one
7
we
now.
had was the other day. Was it Tottenham 4, Newcastle 1? I think I've really enjoyed that.
Tottenham
It was just
4,
good times.
For me, I'm a business person, and it's the most viewed stream is my favourite one. So
It
I was
is-
thinking about that ad rev.
It is time to
Our
think
most
about.
popular is Liverpool 7, mate.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It
thinking.
is time to talk about the FA Cup. I love the traditions of the FA Cup. Desperate to win the FA Cup, and I think Chelsea could save this sorrowful season if we have any luck. The FA
Super Six love FA Cup.
Super
quite
Six
clearly as
do
well,
love
because
the FA Cup.
They're doing another round where you can win £250,000. It's a free shot at 250k. Download the app. The link is in the description below. Join our league. The code is Club23. But just make sure you're getting your predictions in every single round. The FA Cup round is this weekend, this week, and the fixtures are Ross.
Stoke versus Brighton. Queen's Park Rangers versus Bournemouth.
Come on, Bournemouth!
Bournemouth battered them 3-0 at Loftus Road. Chelsea Preston, that's got a 1 all written all over it. Middlesbrough Villa, City Huddersfield, and the big one is on the Sunday, and it's Arsenal versus Liverpool.
Do you want a free 5 points,
Yes.
Desmond?
Where?
Arsenal, Liverpool.
No. Liverpool win that game so convincingly.
Yeah, they'll smash it.
Not at the Emirates in a cup game.
Yeah, they'll smash it.
Because Liverpool
Not
will
at the
play-
Emirates. West
'cause
Ham just won convincingly at the
Liverpool will
Emirates.
play a few of their second string.
No. Arsenal
No
aren't beating
Salah?
Liverpool. I don't think Jurgen Klopp can allow it because
No Salah?
it could be invigorating for Arsenal. I don't think he can allow it to happen. But yeah, big.